regular session of the Senate in the 19th Congress of the Philippines. It is hereby called to order.
Fugitive dismissed Bamban Tarlac Mayor Alice Guo is back in Manila following her arrest in Indonesia. Senate President Francis Cheese Escudero and several senators hailed the arrest of Guo as a crucial breakthrough in the country's fight against organized crime and corruption. Despite Guo's arrest, senators are bent on finding out how the ousted mayor and her cohorts managed to flee the country. As the Justice and Human Rights Subcommittee inquiry resumed its probe, senators grilled law enforcement agencies on how Guo and her group managed to fly out of the country undetected.
Talagang nakakahiya at nakakalungkot, higit pa sa hiya, na yung mga taong pinaghahanap natin for months, for weeks, nahanap sa labas ng bansa natin. Parang hindi namin maramdaman na nagkaroon ng maaga at effective na coordination among our Philippine law enforcement agencies.
Senate Deputy Majority Leader Joseph Victor J.V. Ejercito is convinced that someone helped Guo's group escape the country.
We want to bring to justice not only the Guo sisters but those who aided para hindi na ho ito mangyari, Madam Chair, in the future, and serve as a lesson. Talaga imposibleng wala hong tumulong sa kanila, and that's what we want to find out in this investigation.
Now that the ousted mayor is back in the country, Guo is expected to appear in the Senate hearing on Monday. In a unanimous vote, the Senate concurred in the ratification of International Labor Organization Convention No. 81, treaty between the Government of the Republic of the Philippines and the Government of Canada on the transfer of sentenced persons and on cooperation in the enforcement of penal services, Convention on Mutual Administrative Assistance in Tax Matters, and host country agreement between the Philippines and the International Fund for Agricultural Development. The Senate also approved on third reading local holiday bills in the provinces of Quezon, Agusan del Sur, Oriental Mindoro, Aklan, Surigao del Norte, and Batangas. The upper chamber approved and ratified the Bicameral Conference Committee report on the proposed landmark Philippine Archipelagic Sea Lanes Act and the proposed Basic Education, Mental Health, and Well-Being Promotion Act. The Senate also adopted Resolution No. 141 recognizing and commending the 2023 Galing Pook awardees and Galing Pook Citizenship awardees. Resolution No. 142 commending the Outstanding Young Men and Women awardees of the 2024 Outstanding Young Men Awards of the Philippines. Resolution No. 143 commending and congratulating Filipina peace negotiator Miriam Coronel Ferrer for being one of the 2023 Ramon Magsaysay awardee. And Resolution No. 144 expressing the profound sympathy and sincere condolences of the Senate on the death of Dr. Henry Lim Bonlyong. Meanwhile, the Senate passed on second reading Senate Bill No. 2779 or the proposed Agricultural Tariffication Act, Senate Bill No. 2762 or the Corporate Recovery and Tax Incentives for Enterprises to maximize opportunities for reinvigorating the economy, and Senate Bill No. 2474 or the Philippine National Police Forensic DNA Database Act. Both Create More and Agricultural Tariffication Act are two of the 28 priority bills of the Marcos administration. The Senate approved on second reading 8 local bills seeking to declare special working holidays in different provinces. Senate President Pro Tempore Jinggoy Ejercito Estrada criticized in his privileged speech the new San Juan City Government Ordinance, which requires all donations to go through the office of the city mayor and imposing a fine for violators. The Senate has opened plenary debates on Senate Bill No. 2568 or the proposed Expanded Tertiary Education, Equivalency and Accreditation Program Act and Senate Bill No. 2793 or the Philippine Natural Gas Industry Act. Senator Robin Hood Padilla sponsored Senate Bill number 2805, strengthening and expanding the mandate of Movie, Television Review and Classification Board, and Senate Bill number 1273, which recognizes the proper burial of Muslim Filipinos, indigenous Filipinos, and other denominations. The Senate Justice and Human Rights Subcommittee, chaired by Senator Ronald Bato de la Rosa, opened its probe into the alleged violation of civil and political rights of Kingdom of Jesus Christ members and reported damage to property. De la Rosa, together with Senator Christopher Lawrence Bongo and Senator Robin Hood Padilla, flew to Davao to personally look into the situation in the KOJC compound amid the ongoing police operation. The Committee on Public Services, chaired by Senator Raffy Tulfo, resumed its inquiry on the deficiencies in the operational procedures in airports and seaports. Senator Loren Legarda underscored the need to address the persisting problem of underemployment in the country as she presided over the Finance Subcommittee G briefing on the proposed 2025 budget of the Department of Labor and Employment and several of its attached agencies. The Committee on Foreign Relations, chaired by Senator Amy Marcos, weighed in on the pros and cons of the proposed free trade agreement between the Philippines and South Korea. Senate President Francis Chis Escudero urged the Philippine Offshore Gaming Operators Task Force to go after the remaining illegal operators in the country. Escudero made this appeal as the Committee on Games and Amusement, chaired by Senator Mark Villar, looked into the implementation of the pogo ban in the country. The Commission on Appointments, chaired by Senate President Francis Chis Escudero, confirmed the ad interim appointments of 32 generals, flag officers, and senior officers in the Armed Forces of the Philippines. Senator Robin Hood Padilla, chairperson of the Committee on Public Information and Mass Media, proposed 3 measures stemming from the Senate inquiry on the policies of television networks and artist management agencies concerning abuse and harassment. The measures presented by Padilla during the committee hearing were Senate Bill number 2777, which seeks to further strengthen the anti-rape law, Senate Bill number 2778, or the proposed Talent Management Act of the Philippines, and Senate Bill number 2810, which aims to enhance the Safe Spaces Act. Meanwhile, Senator Robin Hood Padilla led the Constitutional Amendments and Revision of Codes hearing on the proposed revised Government Auditing Act. Senator Win Gatchalian pushed for the establishment of schools nearer to communities to give Filipino learners better access to education as he presided over the Committee on Basic Education hearing on various local education bills. The Committee on Finance Subcommittee O, chaired by Senate President Pro Tempore Jinggoy Ejercito Estrada, held a briefing on the proposed budgets of the Film Development Council of the Philippines and the Movie and Television Review and Classification Board for 2025. Senator Risa Hontiveros led the Finance Subcommittee H in discussing the proposed 2025 budgets of the Department of Human Settlements and Urban Development and the Marawi Compensation Board.